don't want to give this guy a lot of notoriety because he seems to be enjoying it way too much. And Gary got a call from this guy, but I don't even know where to begin. This is a weatherman on KTLA. He happened to do a story about me being on Letterman.
This guy called Gary?
Yeah. Well, it's an office or something. I don't know. But the guy's a weatherman on... I said to Gary, what is it, ABC, NBC, CBS? No, CW, like what our CW11 is. You know, he's on
one of those independent channels.
Well, it's owned by CBS. It's actually owned by Viacom and Time Warner.
Oh. Yeah, and the guy, you know, he wants desperately for me to notice him. He made the comment, and then somebody wrote me an email and said this guy rides regularly with Jay Leno on a motorcycle and stuff. And I knew this was even an original thought because this was Jay's whole take on me. I've been blasting Jay pretty good for the last couple of years. So Jay did an interview somewhere and said that I was irrelevant. Nobody listens to me anymore. Jay's exact words were, you know, yeah, you just used to walk around and you'd hear people talking about Howard Stern and now you don't. So this shithead, Mark Christie, said that the exact same thing Jay said. I guess maybe Jay will, you know, maybe blow him while he's doing his motorcycle ride with him for this on Sunday, or maybe
Jay will notice him.
Yeah, right. Maybe someone will notice this guy. So he went on the air, and after I said that he was a shithead and he's a local weatherman, which is like the lowest rung on the ladder in any organization for television.
Lower than traffic, maybe like the same level.
No, it's not as low as traffic. But traffic is the lowest.
But at least they take the traffic person seriously. The weatherman is a joke.
The weather guy at least gets to be in the studio on a green screen.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
I mean,
he has that talent of pointing to things that aren't really there.
And 99% of them have absolutely no credentials to tell you the weather.
Is it fair to really call a guy a weather guy if basically what he is a weather reader?
Yeah, well,
is he like, you know, certified by some sort of, you know, meteorological society?
For years they used to pretend that they actually knew how to read a weather chart and knew how to predict the weather. But I don't even want to give this guy that much time, but it's just amazing to me what a fucking shithead he is. So here is KTLA Mark Krisky responding to me yesterday.
But he can't respond to you. Nobody hears you.
Right.
Nobody hears him either.
Except him, evidently.
Yeah.
He seems to be hearing everything I say.
He's got his own shortwave connection to you.
All right, here we go.
The weatherman can't even be the anchor man. You're the weatherman. You can only dream of greatness. You never will be great. You're weatherman.
Not here. You don't dream of greatness. You are greatness.
What's interesting is the vitriol in his voice.
It goes on.
Really mad about it.
But you know, and in answer to the whole thing, I am a big Howard Stern fan.
Which is ironic.
Yeah, I mean, I love what he does and that kind of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, and we've discussed this before, I got 2 points. The truth of the matter is, when he was on regular radio, you used to walk by Starbucks or whatever, and you would hear, hey, did you hear what Howard Stern said today, whatever.
What a shithead.
That is the exact quote.
Well, by the way, that's the exact quote from Jay Leno, and that's his buddy.
He's a Jay Leno puppet head.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, of course, when I was, what kind of retard makes a point that says, gee, when I used to walk by Starbucks, well, I was on terrestrial radio. I wasn't starting a new business. Terrestrial radio is free. Everyone in the world has a terrestrial radio. Of course, there were more listeners when I was on in terrestrial radio.
You could fall on it by accident.
What are you, a fucking nitwit? I mean, what kind of relevant point is that? Of course, when you're on satellite, you're going to have less listeners. The fact of the matter is, we went from 600,000 listeners to 20 million listeners in 3.5 years. I guarantee you there's no weatherman on the planet that could dream of that.
Wow. And with Leno having the capability of reaching all of America, he can't beat this audience.
Right.
A lot of buzz.
I haven't heard anybody mention. What was the last thing that?
Because he hasn't heard anyone mention me. Therefore, I don't have any success because in his work, he's in touch with everyone, being the Channel 11 anchorman or weatherman. He's in touch with everyone.
I've never seen any of these weathermen just walking around.
He hasn't heard. Everybody knows that Howard Stern has done outside of what we're talking about now. And then also, I have another point. I know some people who have done his show when he appeared on his show when he was on regular radio, and who have done it recently. And they said, and I know...
Who are the people?
We know who we're talking about. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to get them in trouble. But they said they used to mention their website and it would crash.
Right.
Now they would get so many hits. Now they go on the Howard Stern show and they get a good response, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. And he's kind of disappeared. But
he's gone over to this other medium now, and it just doesn't have the same impact.
I mean, he still has millions.
Well, of course it doesn't. How would it have the same impact? It had 600,000 listeners when I got here. Of course it doesn't have. What a fucking bunch of retards.
They're brilliant. Wow, what an observation.
Explaining the obvious.
We're in the media, so we can explain this to you dummies at home. You see, on satellite, they have less listeners than on regular radio. We figured this out, and we're going to explain it to you. So, and all the websites used to crash, but now they don't.
And we know who we're talking about, but we can't tell you.
We can't tell you.
Who do they know? I want to know.
And again,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, not to keep bringing this up, though, but I mean, like, I was a club comedian, you know, and I played Carnegie Hall. And that's when we were here.
Yeah.
And I got a book deal. And Gary's on national television shows. You know, Baba Booey's yelled out all over the place.
The fact of the matter
it's unreal.
The fact of the matter is that, of course, the idea of the reason I left terrestrial radio was to start a brand new business, a brand new medium. It's like cable television doesn't have as many viewers as, you know, network television. I'm talking about the cable channels. Well, we know that. Why would you state the obvious, asshole?
But they don't even want to broach the subject of nobody else, no single human being who went to satellite brought what you did to satellite.
No.
You created the company Sirius. Sirius was 650,000 people.
Right. And now it's Sirius XM with 20 million people.
And we should not talk. Sirius stock this morning trading at 34 cents. Year to year down 80.
Now blaming me for the stock price is like blaming David Letterman for Viacom's abominable.
Right,
I mean, ABC's stock prices in the toilet. I have nothing to do with the stock manipulations of this company.
You're supposed to bring in subscriptions.
Yeah, I was hired to bring in subscribers. How they run this company is their business. My assignment was clear. Can you bring us? I sat in Leon's office and I said to him, he said to me, "You're my Michelangelo. You're a Picasso. You're a Da Vinci. Can you bring me listeners to this medium?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Why don't we find out?"
Now this is Leon Spinks?
Leon Spinks, who is the president of this company.
Brilliant man.
And I said, you know, I really don't know how many listeners I can bring. My audience is very loyal, but this has never been tried before. I'm sick of terrestrial radio. I'm sick of working with idiots like Mark Kritzky's. I said, I'll give it a shot. Sure. I said, I'm ready to get out of terrestrial radio anyway.
It was hell for us over there after that Janet Jackson
Horrible.
thing. I felt your pain because I listened to you for so many years. You talk about the editing, and then, you know, during the show, I'd have a joke that I thought was kind of good. I'd be proud of it, and then I'd see it was cut out.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, and that is so frustrating creatively.
So I said, let's go over to satellite radio, give it a shot. And it's worked out. I mean, this company can't thank me enough. I was in a meeting with Mel the other day. He goes, you're the most important person in this company.
Sorry, you can't read the weather.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, if I had a choice between being the most important person in a company like Sirius, and again, I can't affect the stock price. I mean, I just can't. I mean,
it's the economy. It's the state of things at this point.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's not up to me. But the fact that what I can affect is how much money they bring in subscriptions. And I noticed our shithead friend didn't bring that up on how much money. Let's see, 20 million subscribers, and let's say the company attributes 70% of them to me, times $13 a month. Well, gee, I think we're into the billions, aren't we? So, you know, Mark, keep dreaming, asswipe.
And you can tell your buddy Jay Leno that wouldn't happen for him either.
No, we'll see how Jay does. Go back and report.
He's on a free medium. Maybe people will tune in. He can't get people to pay.
Jay Leno, if they gave Jay Leno 5 channels in this company, he couldn't get one new subscriber. Nobody cares about Jay. And that's the difference between me and everyone else. And you can report that today. You can go on your dumb show and report. And by the way, put on a funny mask or hat like most weather guys do. Or read some birthday announcements.
And then point to that front coming in.
Yeah. And act like you're relevant.
They sound like 4 idiots at a club that you can't stand listening to.
Yeah, well, that's the whole show.